everyone, and welcome to the Have Knitting podcast. My name is Christy. If you can hear dogs barking, those are my neighbour's dogs. And it's really hot today. Well, not really hot. It's hot today. And so I opened up the window to let some fresh air in. And just as I start recording, the neighbour's dogs decide to go to town. They're terrible. They're really big dogs and they're a little bit scary, but they're big babies. So every time my neighbours, then they've been living there for almost a year, but I still refer to them as new because I haven't met them. But every time the neighbours go out, the dogs start barking, and they howl, and they will howl and howl and howl. They had so my neighbours had a baby just after I had mine. Like I think we just come home from hospital, and then my neighbour had her baby. So like it was, or a few weeks later. So we were probably within about a month of each other. And the night that she went to hospital, or the night they were away because she'd had the baby, or whatever, the dogs howled all night. And thankfully they're on the other end of our house from where our bedrooms are, but I'm pretty sure they kept the kids awake for most of the night. And the following day there were police because one of the neighbours had complained about the noise. One of the other neighbours in the street had complained, down this end of our street, had complained about the noise. Anyway, so random stories you don't need to know. So it is the day before Valentine's Day. So what would that be? 13th of February. My name is Christy. If you are a new viewer, thank you for joining in. If you are new, and if you're returning, welcome back. It's good to see you. I'm sorry I didn't record last weekend. I had a blocked ear and I was so severely irritated. I didn't want to subject you to Grumpy Christy. I'll just do that to my children and my husband. I still have a blocked ear, but I'm not nearly as irritated as I was last weekend. So last weekend, there was something about this whole blocked ear thing that was giving me headaches and all sorts of weird things. So it's still blocked at the moment. No, I haven't been to see the doctor. My husband keeps getting cranky at me because I haven't seen the doctor yet, but I called the other day and I couldn't get in. So I'll get there eventually. It'll clear itself up eventually. It's just as gross as it probably is, because I think it's gross. I think it's just wax. So it's not like it's an ear infection. It's not sore. I just think it's clogged up with wax. So I'm partially deaf. So to all of my in real life friends that watch this, which I don't think there are many of you, if I seem to be hard of hearing at the moment, that's why. So I can't, I find it difficult being in noisy places because I can only hear with one ear. And noisy places include my house. So so if the kids are all talking to me at once, I swear I cannot hear them. And so I find myself saying shh a lot. And I need to listen to this one person, shh. So it's been a fortnight. Lots has happened. It is I don't want to talk forever about what's happened. So my 3-year-old started preschool, sorry. She started preschool. So she's been four times and she loves it. So much so that on Wednesday, I picked up a friend's son who goes to the same preschool, but on different days. And I was talking to my 3-year-old about that. And she said, my preschool? And I said, yes. And she said, I want to go to my preschool. And I said, well, no, not today. Today's not your preschool day. You get to spend the day with me. I don't want to spend the day with you. Okay. Well, I want to spend the day with you. Would you like to do some baking? Okay, I want to spend the day with you. It also happened to be my husband's birthday on Wednesday, and we were going to bake triple chocolate muffins, but in the end it was too hot. So we didn't do that. But she seemed to be, she's come down with a cold, or she's been fighting off a cold or something, and she's just exhausted after preschool, so she was a bit tired on Wednesday anyway, so I think she was happy to stay home. I have come down with a cold, so I do have a tissue, so if you see me sniffling and blowing my nose, I'm sorry. I didn't want to let I didn't want to let it go for another week. So I've also had some ibuprofen for my headache. So I had some cold and flu tablets earlier this morning. So if all of a sudden I seem very loopy, it's probably because the drugs have kicked in. So excuse the nose blowing. My son has settled well into kindergarten. The first week he got into some, I don't know what the right word is, scraps maybe with another little boy in his class. And so my son was moved classes, which is okay. He's been put into a class with the teacher that we had had interviews and spoken with prior to him being enrolled in the school, and so I'm quite happy with that. And I've never shared much about him, about my 5-year-old, beyond, you know, surgery and injured necks and stuff like that. But he's had a lot of setbacks over the last almost 6 years, and so he's a bit behind on speech and a few other things, and he also has an eye turn. So we've had a lot of therapy over the last 2 years in particular. Actually probably 3, because speech therapy I think started when he was 2.5, maybe a bit older, maybe closer to 3. I can't, anyway, between 2.5 and 3. So he's had a lot of intensive kind of therapy trying to get him up to speed with all the other kids. So him starting school was I didn't realise how much of a strain it was on me emotionally. And I was looking forward to him going because he needed it. He needed that. He just needs that time. And I need space from him, because when your kid's in-home therapist, you do everything. You know, I do all the therapy, and I'm the one that's constantly on him about. I mean, we haven't done therapy for a few months, and there's a whole bunch of reasons behind that. But you know, still trying to keep up with making sure he's using the right words and making the right sounds, and using his glasses correctly, and yada yada yada. So I think we both needed for him to go to school so that we had space. And I don't say that meanly. I love my son deeply, but I didn't realize how much of a struggle, like how much of a strain the whole last almost 6 years of his life has been on me, and how worried I have been. So he started school, and all of a sudden I just felt really, really, really exhausted emotionally. And it wasn't until about maybe Wednesday, Thursday this week that the penny dropped. And it's just because I've been so stressed about him. So, well, not stressed, maybe anxious about him having a successful start at school. And so he had 2 days, and had, like, the first day he got into a fight with this kid. The second day the kid smacked him or punched him or something, smacked him, I think, in the face. And so on the Monday, that afternoon, I got a phone call. As I was walking into the school, I got a phone call from the school saying that he was being moved classes. So, yeah, that was really huge for us, for all of that to kind of happen. So he's moved classes. He's in a class with this really lovely teacher, who also happened to be the first grade teacher of my oldest. So she knows our family relatively well. And he's just thriving. So I think he would have thrived either way, but I think it was a really good thing that he was moved. And he came home on Thursday with his first set of sight words. I think it's I, me, and 2 or something. There's like 4 or 5 words on it. And he read them to me, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing to hear him read. Anyway, that's 10 minutes of garble. I'm sure you don't think it's garble, but I just sort of wanted to share with you where I'm at in my headspace and everything at the moment. So if I come across a bit tired or frazzled or whatever, I've had a lot going on in here, and I think that's had a knock-on effect physically, which is why I've come down with a cold and stuff. And at that, I'm going to blow my nose. So I'm going to, even though we are now at almost 10 minutes, I'm still going to try and keep the show relatively short, because No one wants to hear me ramble on for an hour. I know I don't. All right, let's start with what I was working on last time. I was swatching for the Avana shrug by Annie Claire. I left the pattern out there, so you'll have to look it up on Ravelry. It's called Avana, A-V-A-N-A. And I was swatching it on a 6.5 needle. The pattern calls for Savannah DK by the fibre company, or a sport weight yarn. I decided that I would use a fingering weight yarn, which I think might even be a light fingering. This is the disgusting swatch I got. Look at that! Wiggly stitches, uneven. It's a mess. I was kind of hoping that once I sort of soaked it would sort of even itself out, but no, it was so loosey goosey. It doesn't look too bad in the camera, but like there's like those little ladders there, and like there's some weird thing happening with one of the stitches on the other side. So anyway, I did that and I was a bit disappointed, and I went, oh, what am I going to do? And then I decided, well, I didn't really, not quite like that, but I went, right, how do I fix this? Because I really want to knit this shrug and I really want to use that yarn. So I sat down and decided to swatch with a different needle size, and because the measurements are already there, like it's a one size fits all shrug and the measurements are already set out and everything, I thought what I would do is I would just knit another swatch, find the swatch needle size, whatever, that I was happy with, and then redo the maths. So this is my new swatch. This the stocking stitch portion has been knit on a 5mm needle. I was going to go down to a 5.5, but I had a 5 and I wanted to just start swatching. So this has been knit in the Debbie Bliss fine tweed Donegal, or was it fine Donegal tweed, something like that. Oh, and I should apologise, because if you went looking for my show notes after the last episode, I still haven't written them. I'm sorry. I will try and endeavour to get that done ASAP. I'm just really slack. And that's okay. The only person I'm answerable to is me. And possibly my children and my husband. Anyway, so that's it. So I contacted Annie to ask her a few questions about the lace section. And I said, well, I essentially ended up saying, do I just keep swatching and see what like sort of what works? And she said yes. So the pattern calls for a 6.5mm, and then you go down to a 5mm for the lace. So I thought, right, that's 3 needle sizes. So I'm swatching it. I've knit the stocking stitch portion on a 5mm. I'll go down 3 sizes and see what happens. So the lace section is knit on a 3.75mm needle, and I'm not getting any flaring on the edge at all. So I messaged Annie and I said, is this what I'm looking for? You know, like it just maintains its shape. And she said, yes, pretty much. And so I am so proud of myself that I figured it out. Like seriously, you cannot believe the sense of triumph I had, that not only did I get this beautiful swatch here, but that when I decided to go down 3 knitting needle sizes, that I would just have this serendipitous moment with the swatch, with it not flaring out all the rest of it. And it's gorgeous. So I'm really, 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 really happy with it. I have done all the maths. I've written down my new stitch count and everything on the pattern. I haven't started it yet because I've just got too many other things on the needle. And I really, really want to start it, but I've got to get some other things done. All right, I'm going to have a sip of tea. I hope you don't mind. Apparently, tea and knitting is obligatory on podcasts. This is my free hugs mug. I think I got it for like $2 on sale. I love bargain. It's just decaf tea, and I don't like decaf tea because it always tastes really watered down. I like strong tea, but I just want a tea. And it's really hot today, and I'm sweating, and I'm drinking tea. I'm insane. All right, so the next thing I've been working on is, I bought it in, my, what's it called? Vanilla latte sock. Now, I was asked about this yarn on Ravelry, and I did answer the question, but just in case you're wondering what this is Serdar Heart and Soul in the Twist and Shout colorway. So these socks are called Shake It Up Baby. Twist and Shout. See, the drugs are kicking in. This is where I was at last time. Oh, and I bought it from the Wool Inn, which is my LYS. Well, one of them. There's a few. But you can get it online from other places. So if you are a local to the Western Sydney area, then go to the Wool Inn, or you can buy it online. Or I think Love Knitting have it, and probably other places as well. So I was looking at doing a short row heel, or just doing something, I don't know, anything. And I was looking in one of the sock knitters threads and came across the, what's it called? The Fork in the Road heel, which is a free pattern by Lara Neel. And I thought, oh, I'll give that a go because that'll be fun. So essentially it's like knitting a little, it's almost like knitting a little hat for your head, for your heel. So I'm not going to be wearing my socks on my head. It's like knitting a little, oh, silly needles. It's like knitting, it doesn't help that I'm, right, you know what, I'm just going to, I can't even finish that because that's like a lot of stitches. It's like, I'm so sorry. It's like knitting a little hat for your heel. So it's a free, like I said, it's a free pattern by Lara Neel called Fork in the Road heel, or Fork in the Road socks or something. So that you get this like fork in the road with, I mean, not that you can really see it. I think it looks like a sock monster. I'm going to eat you. Sorry. Like I said, it's the drugs. So yeah, so you end up doing a provisional cast on. So you have some stitches, it looks so weird to begin with, because you have the instep stitches on hold. You have stitches, like live stitches that you're working, but then you also provisionally cast on the same number of stitches. So I think this is a 32 sock, so I had to provisionally cast on 32 stitches, and I used the, you know, the crochet method where you crochet it straight onto the knitting needle, because the thumb method or whatever method that Lara suggests in the pattern just wasn't working for me. It just looked too sloppy. And then you do that, and then you just knit up to, you know, there, and then start decreasing and then bind off like a hat, like a hat. And then you pick up the stitches that were provisionally cast on, and then you just start knitting down the foot of the sock again. So it fits okay. I haven't really put it on again since, I don't know, I think I got to the end of the pink and I tried it on, and I think it fits okay. It's in her book, Sock Architecture, and actually I've been wanting that book for a while, but after knitting this, I really wanted the book, so I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, so this is where I was last time. This is my little progress keeper stitch markery thing from Chatham Designs. I think she's now going as Miss Calico Cat or something on Etsy. Miss Calico? I don't know. I might try and see if I can find her new name and put that in the show notes. But yeah, and the only reason I knew it was the same person was because of the stitch markers. So yeah, so she's changed her shop name if you're looking for her. So yeah, so that's that. I'm actually quite happy with it. Like, I think it's a funky looking heel. So, and it's so weird that like the bottom of the sock is weird now, because now it's like it's a mirror image of itself kind of thing. So, and it's yeah, it's meant for self-striping socks. So when I picked up all of these, when I picked up the the stitches that I had provisionally cast on, what you do is you find the next color in the sequence, so that you don't get this weird, you know, like, what's it called? Like, you know, when you either have an extra thin stripe or whatever because you've done you know, do you know what I mean? If you're a sock knitter, you would know what I mean. So yeah, so I think there might be an extra row of the dark grey, but like holding it up like that, you can barely see it. And when it's on my foot, in my shoe, no one's going to see it. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I love that it's just kept that continuum. So because I did that, and we're at 20 minutes, I don't want to talk all day. I don't. I did go and buy my local bookstore. They're just lovely. I don't know whether it's worked out, it's done by how much money you spend in store, but every now and then I get a $25 gift voucher from them. So I got one a little while ago, and I was kind of umming and ahhing about what to do with it, and then I decided that I really wanted this book, Sock Architecture, by Lara Neel, so I thought that I would use that money to put towards it, which I'm so glad I did, because the retail price in Australia at my local bookstore is $45. So I got, excuse me, so I only paid $20 for it. But I love my local bookstore. Like, this is the second cooperative press book I've ordered in from them, and they're brilliant. It's not something they would usually stock, but you just have to send them an email or go into the store and ask, and if it's in print, they'll get it for you. And I absolutely love that. Like before Christmas, my daughter, my almost 10-year-old, she turns 10 on Wednesday. She's been reading a series of books called Truly Tan, and I saw them in a department store, and I almost, like, she's got the first one, and I got her the second one for Christmas. And I was so when I went to get her the second one for Christmas, I either was in the bookstore and ordered it in, or I emailed them and ordered it in, and within a week it was there. And so I just do that. Like, I might see them in a department store, which I have done, but I'll always go back and I'll email them and order it in, because they're just brilliant. And I really think that it's important to support your little brick and mortar stores. And yeah, so I'm really grateful to them. I ended up spending so much money in there the other day, because I went in, I found a book for my nephew, because his birthday's coming up in April, and I got something for one of my kids, and then I got that. Anybody want a free hug? Did I say that already? So, yeah, but anyway, so the book. I got distracted with talking about local bookstores. This is brilliant. It's a really big book. I've already managed to kind of crease the cover. It got splashed on at the pool today because I took it when my daughter has swimming lessons. But this is brilliant. I've been reading it like you would a novel. And I really appreciate all, like, the way Lara has written it is just, it's just fantastic. She's just really honest and down to earth. And I think she says something about, I should have, I didn't want to, ruin it by highlighting it, but she says something about intarsia and how it's something that she's scared of. And I'm scared of doing intarsia. So it was really nice. Like, I felt a connection which is ridiculous, I know. But, like, it's like, oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that finds the idea of intarsia, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidating or daunting. But she talks about foot shapes. She talks about, she talks about the history of sock knitting, like, like where the different areas where things came from. She talks about the difference between Eastern and Western socks. So for Westerners, we tend to knit toe down, but the toe up thing is an Eastern thing. And I think that's right. Lara, if you're watching this and I'm wrong, I'm really sorry. I should have maybe taken notes. But she's got like heel shape suggestions, like depending on your foot type. So if you've got high arches, you should, like the heel shapes suggested are flap and gusset heels, thumb joint afterthought heels, which is what I've done with this. And the reason why it's called a thumb joint is because you measure between the tip of your thumb and this joint, which is why I hope I measured it correctly. I'm a little bit paranoid that I've done it wrong. So, so she talks about that. She talks about fit. She talks about gauge. She talks about swatching. She's even got toe shape suggestions depending on what sort of toe she talks about the different types of foot shapes and stuff. So like there's tapered, there's square, and there's round, and like how you can tell what you have. She talks about all the different, she talks about short rows and short rows heels. She talks about dealing with gaps and how to get rid of those pesky holes. So I'm up to, oh, sorry, my silly nose. So yeah, so I'm working through, I'm working through a section at the moment on heel flaps. Well, actually, I was reading the gauge. Sorry, as I blow my nose and look at my book. I'm reading through this bit at the moment. So I was reading that at the pool, and there was so much noise, and my head was hurting, and my ear was blocked, and I got to this section, and I just went, I just need to be able to pay attention. I'm going to stop reading, and went back to my knitting. But it's really, really, really cool. So if you have not seen this book, but you're really interested in how to get either a better fit out of your sock, or you're really interested in like the construction of socks and being able to use different techniques and stuff, either in your heels or your toes, then I definitely recommend it. It's a really easy read. You know, like there's a lot of technical information in there, but the way it's written is just beautiful. So Lara, if you're watching, which I doubt you are, but if you are, this is an awesome book. So thank you so much for taking the time to write it. And to the people at my local bookstore, even though I know that you're not watching this, thank you. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward. I'm thinking there's a book in here called the Arithmophobia book. So, and a lot of the socks have a toe up and cuff down version. So there's, for the Arithmophobia sock, that's it there. I don't want to show you all the goodies in it. But for the Arithmophobia sock, apparently there's no maths involved, but there's a top down version and a toe up version. And I want to see if I can do the top down and toe up with my sock blank, just to see what it kind of looks like. But I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so, oh, we're still going. See, this is why I should podcast weekly, because, you know, we don't run into these issues. Anyway, so that's a really good book. I still plan on doing a review of the Cast On Bind Off book by Cap C's. But I just haven't had a good chance to sit down and read all of it. And I mean, there's lots of good information in there, and I will, and hopefully I'll try and do that next time. But I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear me go on and on and on about books, because your time is precious, as is mine. Okay, so this is, and I left the ball band out there. This is the Bose pear shawl. So I think I'm knitting it on a 4mm needle. I didn't bother gauge swatching. I just went, yep, 4mm sounds good to me. It's by Tetiana Otruta. I think that's how you say her name. And it has this really lovely, it's a free pattern ravelry. I love this lacy stitch. This is what I'm doing, and this lacy edge. This is what I'm doing for my knitting, my craft group. We're doing this, teaching them how to do an easy lace shawl, which is fun. The stitch marker was a gift from Knit and Stitch Bits when I bought the little sheepy bag, and I thought that's perfect, and it's so pretty. Just, you know, got this lovely little dangly star that I think of her every time I knit it. I've never met Katie, but she is a lovely person, so it's nice. It's really, I love online friends. Some of them are just the best. Some of them are a bit of a worry, but some of them are just the best, and Katie's one of them. So that's coming along nicely. I'm knitting it out of, this is Aussie Farmers Market. I think that's what's called. Moolah. She's on Etsy. The base is Moolah. It's a 80-10-10 base, MCN, so merino, cashmere and nylon. It's in a gradient called Dusk, so it's got this lovely darker kind of dusky purple on the outside, and then it fades into like almost a cream. It's not quite cream, but almost a cream in the center. And it's super soft and squishy. So Aussie Farmers Market is, as you can guess, a she's an Aussie, and she's got a huge amount of stuff in her Etsy store. So I think I said the last time I recorded that I wanted to get it from Circus Tonic Yarns, and I really do. I really do want to buy her some of her yarn, and I will eventually, but at the time there was nothing in her shop that really spoke to me, and then I saw this and I just thought that is just beautiful, because the original Bose pear shawl is written in a knit in a gradient, and it looks really lovely. So when I saw this, I just thought it's just perfect, and I'm knitting it for a friend. Hopefully she'll like it. Yeah, so that's that. And so last but not least is my cross stitch, and I'm going to have another sip of water. We're at half now. I'm so sorry, but this is what happens when I miss a week. And I wax lyrical about my children for 10 minutes. And I'm sure you will forgive me. And I'm going to blow my nose and probably sneeze. Okay, I didn't sneeze. Oh, I didn't want it to go. I feel guilty blowing my nose in front of you. No, now it's itchy. I do. I feel really guilty because I don't know. Crazy headed lady. But yes, I feel guilty, so I'm sorry. But I didn't want to go another week, because otherwise, before I know it, it'll be December. So the last thing I want to show you is my Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Pumpkin Passport cross stitch that I've been working on. The first Tuesday in Feb, I think that was the 2nd of Feb here. It was the 2nd of, well, it was the 2nd of February everywhere in the world. But when it's the 2nd of February here, time-wise, it's the 1st of February other places. So on the 2nd of February, or the first Tuesday of February, I was checking my emails, and there was one from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I thought, oh, why are they sending me an email? It was the second clue. And I thought, I haven't even finished off the first one. So I have been desperately, well, I haven't done anything for the last couple of days, but I have been stitching away. So I still have Let's to go, but I got to the picture and went, I just want to knit on the, I just want to stitch on the picture. So I've started the little picture just there, as you can see. Make sure that you can see it. So I was working on this, like the green scallopy border, and then I went to do, I think I went to do Go, like the O in Go, and realized that it wasn't lining up properly, and I'd actually miscounted stitches between the N and A from N and Adventure, so I had to unpick all of that and then go back and restitch it. So that took, I mean, it didn't take too long, but excuse me, I really want to sneeze. Well, you know this episode is going to be called Achoo. Achoo! So yeah, so that's that. Yeah, and that's it. So I haven't looked at the second, I told you, I think the cold and flu tablet I took it earlier is possibly wearing off. What was I saying? I can't remember now. Yes, so I haven't looked at the second clue. I've seen some sneak peeks on Instagram, but I'm trying to ignore them. It is a smaller clue, and they say, you know, that this is supposed to be a marathon and not a sprint, and to not stress about it. And so I'm trying not to, and just trying to enjoy it. And I think I might make some time to give this some love. I was thinking about casting on the Arithmophobia socks or the Avana shrug, but I think I should probably just work on this so that I don't fall too far behind. I'd hate to get to March and still be working on the first clue. So that is that, and that's looking really cute, and I'm still enjoying it. It's the thing that I've started doing when I'm watching podcasts a lot of the time, because I can knit in front of the TV, but I can't necessarily cross stitch because we don't have a light in my lounge room, and that is a long story. As to, we do have a light fixture there, but we don't have a light bulb, and I'm not going to explain that to you because my husband is wonderful. So I am going to sign off, and I'm going to go and suss out some more cold and flu tablets, I think, and finish off my somewhat cold cup of tea. Oh, my Shetland shorty. Hopefully I'll be wearing it next time. We had some really terrible weather. Like terrible. It was rainy and drizzly and cold and yuck. So I remembered today and I had the time today to soak it and block it. So that's currently out in the sunshine drying. So hopefully next week I'll be able to show it to you wearing it. Hopefully. So hopefully I might even get to wear it tomorrow. I think it's going to be even hotter tomorrow, so I'm not sure. Even though it's not, I don't think I'm going to want to wear it tomorrow. It's supposed to be much hotter tomorrow than it is today, so I may just leave it until the weather starts to cool down because autumn is just around the corner. Oh. So anyway, I hope wherever you are keeping well. Hang on while I have a sip of tea. Boring old decaf tea. That's actually not too bad now. Maybe because my nose has started running and it's starting to get blocked up again, it's actually starting to kill my taste buds. But what did I say? Oh, Achoo. That's what I was going to call the podcast. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I've got hair on me. Anyway, I hope you're keeping well. I will see you again in about a week. And yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great week. I was going to say something else. All right, but I can't remember. All right, take care and I'll see you again soon. Bye.